Hello YouTubers and fellow hams, RVers, whoever else might be watching. Well, it's June's Thoughts on the Road. I might make it a regular feature. I've had some positive feedback and requests to do so. People want to hear more about the trip. Hopefully there's not too much noise from the air conditioning. It's running. No choice really. It's getting hot here. We're getting into the summer heat here around Kingman, and it's going to be okay the next few days in the low 90s. Going to be nice for field day. Saturday's high is only 88, which is kind of cool around here, and that's Fahrenheit for my European viewers. But next week, towards the end of the week, it's getting up into the triple digits, up into the hundreds again. And I wanted to experience the desert heat, and I've experienced the desert heat, and I'm done with experiencing the desert heat. So the air conditioning has been working fine. Where I'm at, I have AC power, and I've been able to survive. But you end up trapped inside the box. You get a couple hours in the morning where you can walk around and be outside, but then all day I'm in here, and making me a little stir crazy. In the evenings it gets nice. Once the sun gets behind the mountains, the temperature outside begins to drop pretty rapidly. It gets quite comfortable, and we've been messing around outside, doing stuff, walking around. Had a couple of campfires, in the evenings. And my neighbor James and I sit out there and chat about stuff, and that's kind of pleasant. But as it gets dark and the evening wears on, you tend to want to go back inside, because out here there's critters walking around. I posted to Facebook some photos of big cats that came through here. They were either mountain lion or bobcats. James is pretty sure they were bobcats. We didn't measure the paw prints. You can measure the spread of the toes and the distance between strides, and you can get a good idea as to whether or not it's a mountain lion or a bobcat. So they were kind of in between. It could have been either, but anyway. So yeah, I don't get a chance to walk at night, and I really like in the evening when the sky is just full of stars and the moon's up, walking, and I can't do that around here. So yeah, getting a little stir crazy. Time to move. Time to get away from the heat. I'm going to be doing that after field day. Field day is coming up this Saturday. By the time you see this video, field day will be over, because I think this video will go live Sunday. Hope everybody had a good field day and made lots of contacts. I will be filming. I'm going to visit the local club's field day site and try to shoot some good video, maybe interview a couple of guys and show you what they were doing out here in Kingman for their field day site. I don't know if I'll get a chance to operate much. I might do a little QRP on the batteries, so I could be officially a 1B and make a few contacts, maybe even some CW contacts. I need to do more CW. The other thing I'm waiting for is it's vehicle registration time. I have to renew my license plates, and so I've processed that, and I have to wait for them to arrive. They're going to mail them to me out here in Kingman. So once field day is over and my registration arrives, I'll be hitting the road. I have a destination up near Flagstaff, Arizona, where it's a little bit cooler, and I've discovered a group that's west of Flagstaff that's a volunteer fire department to fight urban fires. And they are a group of RVers, full-time RVers, that have set up a spot out there. And it's quite a few miles west of Flagstaff, but it's at a higher elevation too, so it's cooler there. It's 10 to 15 degrees cooler there than it is here, so I'll be looking forward to that. And it should be an interesting group to hang out with and maybe interview a few of, and maybe do a video or two. They're a volunteer fire department. They've got a big pile of donated radios and repeaters, probably commercial, that they don't know what to do with, so I'm going to try to help sort that out, maybe sort out licensing if it's necessary. I'm sure it is. So I'll be spending some time there with those guys after I move from here. So that'll be coming up. What else is going on? I'm in the middle of an antenna project that is it's a unique idea, and I don't want to go into detail and spoil the video, but I do want to say that I am really focusing on doing everything by the book on this one. a lot of my experiments in the past have been just, amateur experiments, and amateur meaning, the use of the word amateur meaning not professional. Occasionally I get thumbs down or negative comments from people because I don't follow the science 100%. I'm not all throwing all the math up at you and all of that, and I'm not really digging in that deeply. Well, I'm not a PhD. I'm not an expert at anything really, although maybe IT and computers a bit, but I'm just a guy. I'm just an average guy, a ham that likes to play around and experiment like most of my viewers are. And I'm just sharing with you my experiments and the results and what I've learned. You've got, down at the bottom, you've got beginners. Way up here, you've got the experts, the guys that author books and do all of the scientific antenna experiments and radio experiments. And I'm like, about a third of the way up, maybe closer to halfway. I've years of just playing around. I've learned a bunch, and I share what I learn. But I would never profess to be an expert at anything, and I hope you all understand that and accept what I'm showing you here on YouTube as being, just at that level. For me being here, the guys that are down here at the beginner, that's really my core audience, is the new hams and the guys that are getting into it or wanting to get into it, and that's what these videos are really targeted at, is the new guys. So it is what it is. Like I say, I don't profess to be an expert. So those detractors that like to give me a hard time for, I think one of them commented recently on a forum post, YouTube, the new idiot's Bible. From a point of view of somebody who's up here, I could see that point of view, but that's not what I'm trying to do. Anyway, enough said about that. So this antenna project, I'm being very meticulous with it. It's probably going to be at least a 2-part video, maybe 3. I'm going to be talking to you about the process that I'm going through, learning about existing antenna experiments along these lines, and we'll be talking about and referencing some antenna handbooks, the Practical Antenna Handbook by Joseph Carr. And I will not be doing any 3D printing for the support structure for this antenna. I've done that for my convenience on the last few. I've had a few people that always somebody says, oh, well, you shouldn't use PLA for a permanent antenna. Well, yeah, I know that. PLA plastic that the 3D printer uses will break down in the sun over time. If you left a permanent antenna up and it was up for 6 months, it might start to get brittle. Maybe a year it would fail. My point of view for something like that, in my situation, being mobile and traveling, I don't put up a permanent antenna. I 3D print the stuff because it's convenient for me to design exactly what I need, and then put the antenna up. And it holds up fine for short temporary uses. That's why I do it. But for people that want to put up permanent antennas, there's other materials available, and I'm going to talk about that as part of this antenna project, and I'm going to use those suggestions myself. So we'll talk about a cheap source of nylon stock material, and we'll cut and make our feed point for this antenna using that material. So it'll be more along the lines of somebody wanting to put up an antenna that's going to be up for a few years. So we'll go that route with this particular project. I had a request, and I get these occasionally, so I thought that I'd go ahead and address one of them now. One of my viewer comments. Thank you, Kevin. Whilst you are traveling, can you from time to time make some commentary about the campgrounds, cost per day, camping tips, favorite places, etc.? Thank you for posting. Yeah, sure. Although my scenario is going to vary from most of the full-time RVers. Most full-time RVers park at RV parks. They move from park to park, and it's kind of like staying at a hotel. You plug in, you've got water and sewage and electricity. You've got a rec room and laundry facilities and shower facilities usually. It's kind of like a hotel, but you're staying in your own house per se. I'm mostly boondocking, which is a term that means off-grid. The place I'm at right now is kind of an exception because it's a property owned by another ham that has a septic system, a big water tank, and AC power. So it's kind of in between. But like when I moved with the volunteer fire group, I'll be out in the sticks again. They're out off-grid. They get their power from solar, and they have water tanks they go and fill up. So I don't know what they do about sewage. We'll find out when we get there. But that'll be more off-grid. And that's kind of what I do. I, in general, will find a place that I can park for a week or two, and then I'll drive to an RV park and maybe overnight once or twice to get a good long real shower instead of the Submariner's military-type shower you have to take in an RV. And then I'll do my laundry and stuff, and then I'll go and find another place and park for a week or two, and that's kind of the way I do it. So for me, accommodations are pretty cheap. Overnighting at an RV park, they're not too bad. Most of the country, I've seen lots of small RV parks that I've stayed at that are in the arena of $13 to $15, maybe $17 for a night. You get to the busier areas like here in southwest Arizona where all the snowbirds go, all the prices go up. And the RV parks, the cheap ones, are usually around $30 to $32, $33. And the nicer, bigger ones are going to be upwards of $50 to $60. Places like KOA, the commercial chains, they're generally up there in that range too, in the $50 to $60 range that I've seen. And I haven't stayed at those. I prefer the smaller parks. They're mostly for cost, but it's convenient for me. I just need a nice, good night's sleep without worrying about the noises outside, and a chance to do my laundry, and some free Wi-Fi so I can binge watch some YouTube without hitting my data. As to my data, I have updated my internet connection. I've added a little bit of redundancy by picking up an account with Verizon for their Jetpack, the little hockey puck internet, cellular internet source. And it's working really well. I used it on a live stream not too long ago and actually streamed through it successfully. So successfully on the stream, bands were terrible again as usual. I got to get one of those with a good opening. But it's working out pretty good. It gives me bandwidth for doing my general online stuff, the social media for the channel and that kind of stuff, and watch an occasional YouTube. And then I reserve the phone's bandwidth for uploading videos. So between the two now, I have redundant connections with two different providers. So if I'm in an area that one doesn't have service and the other does, I've still got a connection. And I don't have to worry anymore about running out of bandwidth or getting throttled. So that frees that up a little bit and makes it a little easier for me. The chat video with Dave is doing quite well. A lot of people really enjoyed that. Dave's viewers watched my video. My viewers watched his video. Both sides really enjoyed hearing us talk to each other and learning a little bit more about us. So that's a real good thing. A note on that, that got posted to QRZ, and the forum comments, there were a few that popped up that I knew it was coming, that, you can't broadcast on ham radio, or you can't intentionally use ham radio to make money, and yeah, I know that. That video is not monetized. Okay, I'm not getting paid for views on that video. I thought about that. And it's just a chat. The word interview was used as if it was some kind of a planned professional thing, but no, it's just a chat between a couple of ham radio YouTubers for the benefit of the viewers so they can, be entertained. That's all it was. And it went really well. We had a really good chat. It's getting a lot of positive comments, a lot of people really enjoying it, and I'm going to do more of them. Coming up, I'll hopefully have a nice chat with Callum, DX Commander, and we'll do that over Skype because he's in England. And with the current sunspot cycle, I don't think we'd get steady enough propagation to carry on a long chat over the air. So we'll probably do that through Skype. And I'm also in communication with Jerry Ellsworth. That's a name many of you will recognize in the hacker space. She's quite the electronics guru who started by teaching herself VLSI chips. She actually made her own chips. That's how she learned. She produced a Commodore 64 game system in a joystick years ago that was really quite popular. But she is also now a ham. And she was at Quartz Fest last year and will be again this year. And so we're gonna hopefully do a little chat as well. So that might be coming up. Let's see. Coming up video-wise, well, the field day video obviously is coming. The Antenna Project Part 1 will be coming up. I'm going to do a book review on the Practical Antennas Handbook by Joseph Carr, which is a really nice book. 4th edition, the last one that he worked on before he passed. There is a 5th edition out. I don't have it, but it was contributed to by another author. We'll be talking about that. And then, of course, the new location after I've moved, I'll be doing some videos with the volunteer fire department out there, and maybe some videos on the location and other projects that we'll work on along the way in helping those guys out. We might be able to do a video on tuning cavities for a repeater. That'll be something new. I haven't done that, but I'm sure I can learn what I need to learn and pull it off. So yeah, there'll be some more stuff coming down the road. And beyond that, I don't know. I don't know where I'll be going beyond there. I'm just kind of moving as I do, and when the wind blows me, and we'll see. Beyond July, I don't know. But I'm sure things will present themselves, and we'll have other projects and more videos down the road. The only thing that I have as long-term plan is October. I'm going to be heading back to Rockport, Texas to visit my friends there and hang out for a little while before I come back out here for Quartz Fest in January, which I'm definitely going to get to Quartz Fest this year. It's going to happen. One way or the other, it's going to happen. And so that's the long-term plans. Okay, I've talked for long enough, I think. So we will see you in the next video. And probably do another Thoughts on the Road towards the end of July. And I guess that's that. So, 73. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're not already a subscriber, click to subscribe. Join us on the Facebook channel for discussion about the videos. And if you'd like to help support this channel, please click to support me on my Patreon page.